are here for Ashley's Heart Song. This is the place where we get out of the stress and back into our body, our life, and our business. Y'all, when we tap into the song of our heart, that is when we master the mind and the stress that can steal our life. I'm so happy you joined me today. Today's show is going to be a little different than normal. Usually there is a guest or a topic that is very tangible, very organized, and 3 points and a solution for you. Well, I will send you home with a solution. However, it is going to be a little freer today, a little bit of ease and grace. And the reason why is because I wanted to share today a personal experience that I've got going on right now. I believe that most people who watch this, most women who watch this, will be able to connect and feel that connection with this experience that I'm going to talk about, because most women experience chaos and overwhelm. Most women have a tendency to add a little bit too much to their calendar. Most women load it up and feel like, okay, I'll rest one day, but not now. And what that mindset does is it really does break us down. Breaks down the physical body, mental body, emotional body, and your spiritual body. So today I'm going to dive into my own personal experience with this, of what I've got going on right now. So it's a really personal show at this point. I'm going to be very transparent, very authentic, and you are going to get a glimpse inside Ashley, which I don't know, that could be a little scary, which I think we all say that about what we have going on in our minds, don't we? Think, oh boy, if anybody was ever inside my head, holy mackerel, they would just think I belong in the loony bin. Well, today I just wanted to really show up and share with you what's going on. But before we do that, let's check out our vitality score. Let's see, where are we right now, so that we can determine by the close of the show what you can do to move forward, letting chaos float away and bringing in the ease and the grace. All right, so let's take a look at your physical body. Physically, where do you feel is your vitality today? Do you have plenty of energy? That's a 10. Or are you feeling a little weak and fatigued and you need a rest? That would be closer to a 1. Put down your vitality score for the physical body. Next is the mental body. Mentally, where are you today? Do you feel clear, concise, like you've got all your thoughts together? That's going to be close to a 10. Or do you feel scattered? That's going to be close to a 1. Put down your score. Next is your emotional body. Emotionally, where are you today? Do you feel very joyful and happy and a thrill flowing through you? That's getting you closer to a 10. Or are your emotions a little out of whack, off balance? Maybe you're a little moody. Maybe it's more versus yay. Put down your score. Those would be closer to a 1. All right, next is our spiritual body. Spiritually, how are you today? Are you connected, aligned? Did you take the time this morning to get yourself into alignment, at ease, at peace spiritually? Are you being guided today? Are you listening today? That's going to get you close to a 10. Or are you scoring around a 1, where you're very disjointed? You didn't take the time. You rushed out of bed. You dropped your keys, stubbed your toe, and banged your head. That kind of day, that's going to score you closer to a 1. That's being very disconnected. That's letting chaos have you. All right, put down your score, add them up. High score is a 40. Where are you on your vitality today? Remember, this score is not to be judged. It is information only. And hopefully by the end of today, you're going to see a way that you can master the overwhelm, conquer the chaos, and be at the helm of your life. Carl Jung has a very interesting quote about chaos, and I find it truly, truly fascinating, his quote. And it's kind of one of those where you go, interesting. Carl Jung says, in all chaos, there is a cosmos. Disorder, a secret order. And in disorder, there is a secret order. Wow. In all chaos, there is a cosmos. Expansion. It's broad. Inside our cosmos, out there in the universe, it looks chaotic maybe. But inside that disorder, there is a secret order. And when I think of thoughts, the mind, and how there can be chaos in there, there's disorder, but maybe inside that disorder, there is a secret order. We all work different mentally, right? Our brains all function differently. We think differently, we learn differently. Some people will learn the same, but you understand what I'm saying. We're all a little different. We're all a little quirky. We're all special. And when we look at that big picture of how you work, how you operate, how your brain and how your mind function, we can begin to see that there is a secret order to the disorder that you sometimes feel. And today I want to share with you what has been the chaos and the disorder for me and what I have done to put myself back in the secret order. First, I want to start with the problem that most of us have as us women. We can do this. We collect stress. We suppress it. We don't really take care of the stress or take care of the problem of stress when it comes up. We think, oh, I don't have time for that now. I don't have time. There's always that. Check your language. Do you say, I don't have time, or there's not enough time? And if you say that, and when you say that, you're guaranteed to not have enough time. So when we have collected stress and suppressed it and not taking care of the problem, that's when it starts to build. That's why when we go to put things in our schedule and we see that, oh my goodness, I have 5 things all on the same day next week. How am I going to manage that? And we begin to do the freak out dance. It's only because there's collected stress, suppressed stress, and things that have not been taken care of or put in order. We store them in our tissues, in your joints. If you're feeling pain anywhere in your body, it's because stress has been stored there. And you've heard me say that time and again, and I will continue to say it until I get my point across. We are human beings. Yes, let's do this little side note. We are all human beings, and we will experience a level of stress in our life because it's the way we're wired. However, when we learn how to master that, when we learn how to conquer the chaos and not step into the overwhelm, but we take care of things as they come up, then we have a much better opportunity that when things are stacked in our schedule, we are not sick in bed a week later, 2 weeks later. We are not feeling the tension in the shoulders. We're not feeling the tummy aches. Maybe your heart is beating a little faster. Maybe blood pressure is rising. Maybe there's tension in the upper back, tension in the lower back. And that's okay. That's just your body's hint that you've got some stress that it needs to be handled and dealt with. So my question for you is this: what does stress look and feel like to you? When you experience it, when you have tacked on a lot in your schedule and you begin to feel it in your body, feel it emotionally, feel it mentally, what does that look and feel like to you? Does it look like you can't keep your thoughts straight? Does it feel like your mind is spinning and you can't put down a clear thought? Does it look like you're running around like a chicken with the head cut off? Are you dropping your keys, stubbing your toe, and bumping your head over and over and over again? Are you forgetting things? What does stress look and feel like to you? I know for me personally, when I'm stressed, I'm an internal person and I go very internal, meaning the the feelings that I have on the inside, it's like this swirling. It's like a swirling, and the swirling is not stopping. And it feels very messy. In fact, that's the way I describe it, is I feel very messy and I want to put it in order. And inside that messiness, there's not complete thoughts, or there is a thought, but then I might lose it when I'm halfway done writing it down. Or if I want to tack on another thought to that thought, there's not an ability to do that because it just floated away inside the swirling mist of chaos in my body, in that messiness. Emotionally, what it feels like for me is tears. I want to cry. That messiness also reveals thoughts that trigger more emotions, which is all about, are you sure you can do this? Are you sure you can handle this? No, Ashley, this is what you teach. Oh my gosh, what's going on? You're not going to be a good example. You're not stepping up to the plate, right? All those little whispers from that little thing that sits on your shoulders. Maybe it's one of your board of directors that likes to cause problems. And that voice just likes to come out. It's that saboteur voice. Spiritually, if I allow it to go that far, which I have not done that in quite a while, but if I allow myself to go too far into the messiness, then I'm separated on a spiritual level. And once I'm separated on a spiritual level, anxiety steps in. And I don't know about you, but if you've ever felt anxiety, then you know that anxiety, it stops the growth. It stops the trajectory forward. It holds you hostage. It shackles you. You can't think straight with anxiety. You can't put one thought after the other and to take action when you're in anxiety. No, it doesn't happen. So what I learned long ago when I did have the anxiety and I was living inside that cesspool of it, it was the spiritual growth within me that needed to take place for me personally. That was the way that I mastered the mental and the emotional. So once we determine what stress looks and feels like, we know what we don't want. Now, what do you want? When chaos is out there and you have scheduled 5 things in the same day, and you know what that feels like, what would you love for peace and ease and grace to feel like? Can you imagine what it would feel like if you walked through the 5 things in one day with ease and grace, with confidence, with swagger, with moxie? What is it? What would that feel and look like to you? Get that down. That's super important. For me personally, what I would love for it to look like for me is the confidence, the moxie, the peace, the ease, the order, thoughts collected, being in that peace where the rhythm, the internal rhythm within me is slow. It's slow. There's not fast. It's slow. And when the internal rhythm is slow, there's space between thoughts. So I can determine if that thought is beneficial or not, if that direction is the direction I want to go in for what is coming up. So for me personally, it truly is about ease and peace, feeling that within. And when I don't feel that, I know I'm headed towards the messy. And the messy, I know doesn't feel good. So that is when I always have my tools in place. So every morning I wake up, it's called an armor up routine. And I do that every morning, whether I have 10 minutes or whether I have the 3 hours that I love. Doesn't matter. I have a routine for both to make sure that I am aligned spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. And sure, there are days when I miss y'all. And on those days that I miss, oh, holy mackerel, that just, I find time during the day to do that. I do. So let's talk about, or let me share with you what I've got going on. So I have planned an event, a fall event for the Win-Win Women, and it is in a couple of weeks. Well, it just so happens that the week before, which is this week right here, I also have another event that I planned, which is a retreat. I love to host retreats. I host one 2 to 3 times a year up in the Red River Valley in Texas, and I love it. It is my heart song right there. I love it so much. And that has been planned. It's the same weekend every single year. So that was already planned. So what did I do? Yeah. I couldn't do it in October because there were several conflicts, which was when I wanted to do it earlier in October. Several conflicts, wasn't going to work. So the only next available date that I could do was in November, the weekend after my retreat. So I am the host of this retreat for Armor Up. It's called the Armor Up Life Retreat. And it's 3 days and it is awesome. So I am hosting it. I write up the curriculum for it, the experiences for it. I create that experience for the women. And I make 95% of all the food, let's say 90% of all the food that is served, I home make. I make it. The baked goods that are eaten, the meals, I make it. In addition to the curriculum, in addition to getting the event venue ready, in addition to all that. So it is a 2-woman show because I have a dear friend that helps me. I could not do it without her. She is a rock to me when it comes to getting this all set up. The creation of it is done. However, the next weekend, there's the event, the 1-day event that, again, it's an experience that's being created. I do have a team. We have speakers coming in. We have vendors that'll be there. We have show hosts, fellow show hosts. There's going to be 6 of us, 6 show hosts present at this event. That is phenomenal. And we're going to do a thought leader forum with the show host panelists. And we have VIP opportunities. We have a lot of fun, a lot going on, networking opportunities. It's called the Meet and Mingle Zone. So we have set up this beautiful experience for women for the one-day event. So I have these back to back, y'all, plus all the other things that go on in my business. I am in charge of an Airbnb for my family. And we have been booked every single weekend. And thank the Lord, I get help with that too from my sweet sister. But I've got that. And y'all, you'll never guess what happened last week. My husband ended up having a medical thing happen, kidney stones. I know many people out there can feel that. And he was in the hospital for 4 days. 2 weeks before the retreat and the event. And those of you who plan stuff, you know what that looks and feels like to a person that is in charge of these events, and you are in a hospital, working off your iPad, getting things done, getting it taken care of. And then there's so much more that just pops into that, right? It's life. This is life, y'all. But if we don't take care of things as they come up, that right there will feel like a lot, more than a lot. It'll feel like your head is popping off. We don't want to get to that point. So what do? We take care of things as they come. So the other morning, I had spent Saturday in my office working on both events all day long. When I went in and was going to bed that night, I found I was so wound up. My mind was going 90 to nothing. I felt the messiness start to set up shop. And I went, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Feeling the messiness because I know what I don't want in the messiness, I'm able to identify it really quick. So you want to know what your cap is. What is that feeling within you that you go, oh, no, 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 not going there. And you stop it right then. That's the key. You got to stop it. And then that first step is to make a decision. I'm going to back up one step. There's a very important state of operation that takes place before you ever even make a decision. That very important step is called surrender. Surrender is a state of operation. And inside of surrender, there are all these action steps I'm going to give you. When we surrender, and surrender looks different for everyone because it's all according to your own personal beliefs. But when you surrender in the way that you surrender, in the way you imagine what surrender would be for you, when you surrender and you go, this isn't mine. The messiness isn't mine. It doesn't belong to me. The messiness doesn't belong to me. What belongs to me is peace. That's my birthright. My birthright is peace, ease, grace. And so when I tune into that and I surrender, I make the decision right then and there. This is step one inside surrender. I make that decision. Peace is mine. Peace. That is what I'm stepping into. That's my intention, is peace. Because wouldn't you want to go to an event and a retreat that has that umbrella of peace over it? Isn't that what you would love? To walk into an event and it feels chaotic and messy, that doesn't feel good. You don't know what to do. You don't know what's next. It's chaotic feeling, and that's not what I want. That's not the experience I want for people to come to my retreats and events. I want them to feel at ease, peace. And so the intention, I make the intention right then. And the intention again is personal. It's personal to me, it's personal to you. What is your intention inside this decision you're going to make? I know that when I stepped into the shower to wash the messiness away, I do more physical action, right, to wash the messiness away. So I got in the shower. And when I did that, it is, I release this. It doesn't belong to me. And I speak to God, right? I give it to him. That's my personal belief. And I lift it up to him. My intention is to be, for the umbrella of peace to be all around, in and through me. I emotionally resolve. And if you don't know how to emotionally resolve, private message me. Let's get you rolling on emotionally resolving. It's the game changer of all game changers. And I emotionally resolve what doesn't belong inside my body anymore. The stress chemistry, right? That sets up shop that we suppress and push down. Let that go. Let it be resolved. Let it have its start. Let it have its finish. Let it be complete. Once it's complete, it's gone. And then the next thing is faith in action. It is tap into your purpose and calling, tap into what I call the song of the heart. That right there is your faith in action. When you tune into that, your highest purpose and calling, when you tune into that and you take action living inside of that, that is walking in faith. That it is, the outcome is as you pictured it, as you envisioned it. And then confirm yourself all along the way is excuse me. I missed my step. This is so interesting. So we have that faith in action with the heart song, right? With our purpose and calling, and we're inside of that. But then the next thing is to be in awareness. What happens if you go off again? Because we know the thoughts in your mind are going to start whispering, going, oh, are you sure you can do this? Oops, I don't know. You missed that, right? That little voice, that saboteur. Oh, wait a minute. There's a saboteur. No, 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 no. Go away. My decision is this: peace to envelop and infuse me. Emotionally resolve again if anything has come up. What is my heart song? I'm going to stand in faith and walk using action. Then I confirm it. I confirm it again. Confirm. This is who I am. This is what I'm doing. This is the outcome I am producing. And then we live in that state of awareness. And any time I am being pulled out again, I go, oh, wait a minute. What is my intention? What's my decision? And I go through the steps again and again and again. And pretty soon you're not going through them so much because you're able to stay in, you're able to check it and get back in. So to recap, those steps for you inside of surrender, you first, when you feel the messiness, when you feel the chaos, when you feel the overwhelm, you surrender in whatever way that looks like for you. Whatever is in alignment with your belief, you surrender. And inside of that, there's all this action. What's your decision and intention? Step one. What is it you want? What is it you desire? What is the outcome that you're producing? What's the experience? Then you emotionally resolve what doesn't sit right. Because making that intention and decision, you could go, ooh, can I do it? Right? You can feel another little squeeze, and we emotionally resolve. And if you don't know how to emotionally resolve, then simply be present, breathe, and stop the mind from thinking and just be with all of your senses. What do you taste? What do you feel? What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? Just be inside all your senses until you feel at ease. Then you go to faith in action. Tap into your purpose and calling, your heart song. Tap into that. That is your faith in action. When you tap into that, you're being it. And you're going to walk your talk inside of that. Be in awareness is the fourth step. Be in awareness and notice when you are pulled out. And get right back in by going through the steps again. And then confirm who you are and what you are here to do. confirm it over and over and over and over again. That is the secret to conquering the chaos. Once you know how the ease and the peace feels, you will be more selective in what you allow on your calendar. You will be more selective in the timing of how things flow on your calendar. Because calendarizing is simply a matter of putting yourself inside of that day and discovering if the way things are scheduled now, if that's going to feel okay, if that's going to feel messy, or if it's going to feel peace. If it'll feel messy, then you know to move things off the calendar so that there is peace. However, there are some times when we don't have a choice. There are some times when life is calling us into the messiness. There are times when that's the only road to take, is the road of messiness. It's chaotic. It's overwhelm. And inside of that, that is when you build your muscles, because inside of that is when you go through these 5 steps of surrender. You go through them over and over and over again. And it builds your muscle, makes you stronger. It builds that moxie, right? That ability to overcome, the ability to master what's happening in your life and to be at the helm of your life. You, the authentic you, the highest version of you, that is the one that needs to be at the helm, leading, guiding, and directing the way, instead of the one who succumbs to chaos, the one who succumbs to overwhelm, to stress. Stress is a very serious, serious dis-ease. And stress is not for us to live inside of. Stress is meant for 2 to 4 minutes, and that's it. And then it's gone. So learn how to master your stress. Learn how to see things differently so you don't jump into the muck puddle of stress. Learn to take that Hawkeye view and learn the 5 steps of surrender. Practice them every day so that you master your life. This event that's coming up is called Finding Your Purpose and Calling. And I invite you to any one-day event or retreat that you see pop up on my social media. So follow me, Ashley Frederick Torian, on social media so that you can be in the know whenever an event comes up, whenever a retreat comes up, and you can attend and be inside of all of these wonderful ways to master the stress, to become the conqueror in your life, the one who lives with ease and grace and feels empowered. This is about personal power. It's about standing in your own power and not allowing the chaos that's outside of you to steal that. It's about you stepping fully into it and maintaining it and living inside of it. Thank you for joining me for this episode on Ashley's Heart Song. Join me every Monday as we continue to armor up our lives. See you next week.